Welcome everyone back to Hawke's Bay. The weather hasn't improved at all. We've had shit for weeks. We just had snow in mid-October. It was probably the coldest day of the year on Thursday. Big swell has come through. It's just sort of dropping away now. We're not sure what we're going to find. We'll have to wait and see, really. Yeah, let's get out there. So we shot out to about 25 metres and we were hoping the weather was going to be a little better than it actually was, but it was quite lumpy with an offshore westerly. We set up the rods and put the ledger rigs down on the bottom with no burley in the water, hoping to avoid the sharks. That feels like a snapper. The first fish of the day was quite a surprise, as it felt like a snapper. Oh, it does definitely feel like a snapper.
Looks like a snapper.
Oh yeah! Hey, first one of the season! Yeah boy!
Nice.
A pretty modest start to the snapper season, but I'll take it. When you're out on the water, you tend to see quite a few seabirds. This one here flying past is a mollymawk, part of the albatross family. It's pretty amazing that they can glide just above the swell without falling into it. With the second fish popping up being a gurnard, it was looking pretty promising. The sharks weren't around in any real numbers.
Oh, I'm into another one straight away. Really?
Yeah. I'd only just got my line back down to the bottom and it was already getting hit by another fish.
On.
Yeah. I'm not allowed to come on my boat to catch all the gurnard for that.
Come over this side.
That line is on that side.
Is it?
Pretty much.
Neck minute, spiny.
Gonna be in your camera's way.
Oh, it's not going at the moment.
Since it had been a long winter without any gurnard in the freezer, I decided to take this 28cm fish home.
28.
Only a couple minutes later, the bait was getting harassed again on the bottom. The gurnard were growing in size and we were starting to fill the bin up. 4-0 to Blair. Make that 5-0. I was feeling pretty stoked with 5 fish in the bin already, and I was hoping this next one would be another gurnard. Bevan was very amused when he discovered that I pulled in a big spiny. So the way I normally unhook them is keeping them in the water, and using my black magic D-hookers in order to D-hook them safely. A quick shake of the head and they're away. It was my turn to laugh at Bevan, as his next fish was also a spiny dogfish. Thinking my next fish was another spiny, I locked the drag up and pulled it up quickly.
Don't worry, I was totally wrong.
A big gurnard had me scrambling for the net,
Absolutely wrong.
which Bevan had conveniently broken
I locked
earlier
up
in
on
the day.
Oh, you... That's the trouble with a short net. Yeah. Said the same thing when I saw the red. He's pushing a kilo, that one. Probably over.
Finally got a nice one. Plenty of good eating on a gurnard this size. The next gurnard was fairly small, so I decided to get the tagging kit out and tag it. With the fish in good condition and the tag placed nicely just below the dorsal fin, I let him go and he swam off strong. Bevan had also caught a fairly small gurnard and he decided to let his go too. With mostly small gurnard and spiny dogfish crowding the baits, we decided to head further north and look for some better fish in that direction. Conditions had finally settled down and the trip over was a very smooth one. Almost immediately on the new spot, I was into something better, and this was a much bigger fish than anything that I'd hooked so far today. The fish made runs out to the horizon and also back down to the bottom whenever I pulled it up. Could this be a bigger snapper?
I have a clue what I have. First run it did was interesting.
The fight didn't seem quite right for a snapper, so I was thinking perhaps a school shark.
It's long. Schoolie or a rig? Come on, be a rig. Schoolie. It's alright. It's a big schoolie. Wow. Bit of fun.
My Black Magic D hookers once again came in handy. There hadn't been too many bites like this today, and I knew it was probably a kahawai based on the way it hit.
Ooh, big cooter chasing him up.
I saw that. Oh, he's still behind him.
A sneaky barracuda decided that he wanted a piece of the kahawai
Wow,
and my
big.
second bait on the bottom.
Here it comes.
Look out.
The kahawai and hook stay are almost always in good condition throughout spring. They're heavily feeding on whitebait at this time of year. Another hookup that was a pretty dead weight. Wasn't sure what this was going to be.
It's really, really heavy, but it's... Are you kidding me? A red cod took line. Wow.
That is a horse.
Something different in there. Whole... Oh my god, he's eaten a whole, like, flounder. Just chopped out of his mouth. Red cod? Ow, he's biting me.
Although some people like to take red cod, I prefer to let them go as their flesh can be quite soggy. I decided to chuck down a Sanaku to the bottom and it quickly got eaten by something. I was testing out the Black Magic light jigging rod with the Sanakus as I hadn't tested it too much with these lures before.
Me being on you.
Look like it.
Bevan had also hooked a fish and they seemed to go around each other.
It's on yours, but I've got a fish on as well, for sure. Just let me see.
We worked together to untangle the two lines and bring his gurnard in. It didn't take us too long and eventually I was able to get onto my fish.
It'll be a miracle. Oh, he's still there.
After holding the fish with my right hand as we untangled his rod, I managed to keep the gurnard on the hook. And it was
look
a
at
lovely
that.
fish too.
Woohoo!
And I got that all on my GoPro.
Well, it's been a bit of chaos now. Managed to pick up a gurnard on a Sanaku, just sitting in the holder. I do like to run them in the holders sometimes. And yeah, pretty happy. Bevan couldn't complain with his lovely gurnard either. With about 10 gurnard and a snapper in the bin, we headed home, pretty happy with how the morning had gone. As per usual, Murphy was required for a fish inspection. Before I go, I'd like to give a huge shout out to Rhys over on Patreon, who is now a part of the Snapper tier of supporters. You're an absolute legend, mate. If you're interested in supporting the channel more than just a subscription, head over to my Patreon. The link is in the description. Perks of supporting the channel is having your name shown at the end of every future post, plus having full access to bonus Patreon content. Cheers everyone, and I hope to see you out on the water soon.